Like, in just a minute, I came back. Why did I come back? Because I keep getting these nasty comments on videos. Okay. Sorry, but I'm in my living room working on some stuff. And I got this huge long comment under my last video about how Ryan defamed these people, and he's probably going to get sued for defamation. I mean, it just kept going on and on and on and on and on and on and on. It was just like someone was really on a trip when they wrote that. Thought that was kind of strange, but I need to clarify something. Now, what I saw this entire time that Ryan was on the internet was him trying to figure out who these people were, because all he was finding were these characters they had created online with fictitious names and false personas. Okay, to my knowledge, he never truly identified who these people were, never figured out who formally, legally, they were. So for somebody to then come on and do a comment under my video and be like, he's going to get sued for defamation because he went on and said that these people were traffickers and blah, blah, blah. I mean, they just went, go read the comment under my last video if you want a real trip. Okay, listen, guys. To get a defamation lawsuit or slander and libel, you have to show monetary losses plus possible long-term harm to yourself. It has to be credible. He would have then had to have formally identified them by their given names, by their registered names, and had to have caused them harm monetarily or physically. The fact that he never found out who they were, but only saw information they put on the internet as a character, would take that off the table. And they also pulled him into all this and requested he come to their panels and accepted him to their panels. So him initiating contact is also faulty. They initiated contact. They pulled him to these characters, to these little universes they created, and all he was trying to do is figure out what in the crap they had to do with all this and why they were digging on this case, but then telling him to stop digging on this case. But to have a slander or defamation lawsuit against him, he would have had to have listed them like by name, by their legal name, their legal registered name, and caused them monetary damages or physical harm. The fact that we never know. I mean, I still don't know who these people are. So how can they say he defamed them when no one knows who they are? You have to have a foundation. You guys, you have to. They would have to go and be like, he outed me. He gave my real name. He gave my real location. He got my work mad at me, blah, blah, blah. And he said my name and that I was this. He doesn't know their names, doesn't know their real names. He only knows their personas that they have personally placed on public domain and social media. So he can't be responsible for what they've placed on, social media. They've put it there willingly. And, I mean, it's impossible. That would be an impossible lawsuit. Because they can't prove harm to them because we don't even know who these people are. We don't even know who these people are. How can they say he defamed me when we still don't even know who these people are? All we've seen is these characters that they presented online with fictitious names and personas. You can't defame someone who isn't real. And an online persona is not really you. It's an online persona. Oh, he would have to acknowledge them by their legal name and then cause them financial or physical harm. So I don't know how everyone has turned into like a grade A sleuth all of a sudden, but y'all are missing some very key points. Some very key points. I just thought that was funny, and I just needed to bring that out. And that's why you see a lot of people that parade online that never give their real name. They never say anything about themselves. They like the anonymity of these weird names, and they like that they can play these games, these mental mind games with people, and they like that they can pull these strings. But to have a defamation lawsuit, he would have to have called them by their legal name, identified them as their legal person and caused them issues with their legal persona. I mean, if they had used their real name and he had said, this person is this, and somehow their worker got hold of it and fired it because of what they heard, then they might have an avenue to come back and retaliate. But the thing is it'd still be difficult because they willfully and on their own put this stuff on the internet and assumed these characters and requested his presence in their online domain. They initiated contact, and and to be quite honest, they probably have done more defamation and slander by stating his real name and saying he's using drugs and mentally unhealthy and all this other stuff. So, but y'all, you have to have a legal name. You have to use a legal name and legal capacity, and it has to cause financial and long-term financial or mental physical harm. And the fact that we still don't know who these people are. How? Oh, Ryan probably knows way more, than I even know, even though I worked in that field for a long time, because he has to understand the negative spots in humanity, because he's put himself in a spotlight to where he's going to see the good, bad, and the extremely ugly. So he has to have somebody on speed dial that he can question about this at all times. I just get really irritated when I see people make assumptions that jump those huge chasms, and then people will carry it and go on and be like, oh, yeah, he's going to get defamated. Listen, I still don't know who these people are. I still have never heard him use a legal name. I've still not seen him or heard him identify them as a legal name. He's had ideas, but these people he can't verify truly exist. He doesn't know who they are. All he can say is that the conversation and transfer that he had with them gave him some really red flags, noted by these behaviors, these symbols, these coincidences, and he feels it could be related to this. That's not illegal. Now, had he identified them by their legal name and stated that they absolutely are X, Y, and Z, and they had something occur that was going to cause them financial or physical harm, then they might have a case. But the fact that we still don't know who these people are kind of removes that whole possibility. So if somebody were to take all the pictures and find out who they are and then go and attack them and say, I heard Ryan talk about you and I know who you are, they still couldn't backtrack to Ryan, because Ryan only used what they placed on social media, and the other person used what they placed on social media to backtrack and find them. So it was the other person who attacked them based on what they put on social media. So that's why I say, people, be careful what you put on social media. Understand the law. Understand how people can manipulate it and use it against you. Understand your limits. Make sure you know your laws, and make sure you know your county and state and federal laws. Make sure you understand what you're doing. And while the First Amendment certainly does not protect from defamation, it does have certain key points that have to occur for defamation to be a true thing that happened. So the fact that we still don't know who these people are legally means defamation didn't occur, because all we know are these fictitious personas that they created and willfully placed on social media. Use your noggin. This thing between your ears, there's something in there. You're supposed to use it. I'm just gollywopped. I don't know what to think anymore. But it is absolutely sure to say that we do not have a society of critical thinkers anymore. Which is why people go on social media and create these channels that create such drama that generate so much money. Be aware. Educate yourself. Go read your state's annotated code. Go to a couple of criminal court dates, see what's going on, see what actually occurs in criminal court, see how the courts actually function, watch the law be rendered in your state, your area, and understand how things work. It's your right to understand these things, but it's also your responsibility. And be very aware of the very precarious line that is in between these things. Because all I know are these two fictitious personas that willingly placed themselves online as characters and jumped in and asked for an interaction with Ryan. And when Ryan tried to figure out anything about them, it just turned into a goose chase with a lot of red flags, a lot of twists, turns, and a lot of concerns, and a lot of And he shared all that with us. But he never identified anyone's legal name and affixed it with anything criminal. He certainly had an idea that things were not legit, and that these things that he was finding and that were very coincidental aligned with a lot of these concerns over here in this like really bad criminogenic standpoint. But still, I still don't know who these people are. So how can you defame somebody when you never know who they are, never release their name, and have only accessed information that they placed on the web themselves? Blows my mind. I think there's a lot of animosity going on and a lot of tit for tat and a lot of inappropriateness, especially with the sheriff's department. So like I said in my last video, my mind's blown. But that last comment blew my mind even more because you know something? Let me tell you something. Ignorance is repairable because you can fix ignorance by putting information in your brain. To be ignorant of something is not to be stupid. You're ignorant. You're absent of the knowledge to understand. But when you just readily stupid, that's on you. It's all on you. Because you have the outlet and you have this whole little thing here that you can use to get the information. And yeah. You know, unless they're a registered, trademarked, copyrighted LLC individual with a business under that name, ain't going nowhere. Just had to get in and say that. That frustrated me to no end. Okay, I'm shutting up now. Bye.